This video is about the U.S. President George W. Bush. I explain how he became president and what he achieved. George W. Bush was born on July 6, 1946, in New Haven, Connecticut. He is the son of George H. W. Bush, the 41st President of the United States, and Barbara Bush. Bush grew up in Texas and attended Yale University, where he earned a degree in history. After college, he served in the Texas Air National Guard during the Vietnam War. Later, he received an MBA from Harvard Business School, making him one of the few U.S. presidents to hold a graduate business degree. Bush's political career began when he was elected governor of Texas in 1994. During his time as governor, he focused on education reform and economic development. He worked to improve public schools and reduce crime rates in the state. Bush was known for his bipartisan approach, often collaborating with both Democrats and Republicans. His success as governor helped him gain national recognition and set the stage for his presidential campaign. In 2000, George W. Bush announced his candidacy for president as a Republican. He ran a campaign that focused on compassionate conservatism, emphasizing the importance of faith-based initiatives and community service. The election was highly contested, especially in Florida, where the results were decided by a very narrow margin. After a Supreme Court decision effectively awarded him the presidency, Bush was inaugurated on January 20, 2001. His victory marked a significant moment in American politics, leading to a highly polarized political climate. Bush's presidency was dramatically affected by the September 11 attacks in 2001, when terrorists hijacked planes and struck the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. In response, he declared a war on terror and emphasized the need for national security. The attacks united the country in grief, but they also led to significant changes in U.S. foreign and domestic policy. Bush's administration launched military operations in Afghanistan to dismantle al-Qaeda and remove the Taliban from power. These events profoundly shaped his presidency and the global landscape. In 2003, Bush led the United States into war in Iraq, claiming that Saddam Hussein possessed weapons of mass destruction. This decision was controversial and faced significant opposition, both domestically and internationally. The invasion resulted in the toppling of Hussein's regime but led to a prolonged conflict and instability in the region. The justification for the war was later questioned as no weapons of mass destruction were found. The Iraq War had lasting effects on U.S. foreign policy and public opinion. Bush's domestic policies focused on tax cuts, education reform, and healthcare. He implemented significant tax cuts aimed at stimulating the economy and encouraging investment. The No Child Left Behind Act was passed to improve education standards and accountability in public schools. Additionally, Bush worked on Medicare reform, which expanded prescription drug coverage for seniors. These policies reflected his commitment to conservative principles and aimed to boost the economy and improve social services. During Bush's second term, the U.S. faced significant economic challenges, including the 2008 financial crisis. The collapse of major financial institutions led to widespread economic turmoil and a recession. In response, Bush's administration implemented the Troubled Asset Relief Program, TARP, to stabilize the financial system. These actions were controversial, as they involved significant government intervention in the economy. The economic crisis created challenges for his presidency and affected public perceptions of his leadership. George W. Bush's legacy is complex and often debated by historians and political analysts. His presidency is defined by the events of September 11 and the subsequent wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. While he is credited with significant tax cuts and education reform, his foreign policy decisions have drawn criticism. The long-term consequences of the wars and the economic crisis continue to influence discussions about his time in office. Bush's legacy reflects the challenges of leadership during a turbulent period in American history. After leaving office in January 2009, Bush focused on various charitable initiatives and public speaking. He established the George W. Bush Presidential Center in Dallas, Texas, which includes a library and museum. Bush has also worked on issues such as Veterans Affairs and global health, particularly in combating diseases like HIV/AIDS. He has maintained a low profile compared to some former presidents, but occasionally shares his views on current events. His post-presidency years have highlighted his commitment to service and community engagement.